welcome to Growing Up ATL, where we, the Mayor's ATL Year of the Youth ambassadors, take the lead in producing and hosting content tailored specifically for the youth by the youth.
Guys, are you ready for today's interview?
Definitely. Yes, I'm excited.
All right. Well, no pressure, but next up we're going to interview Courtney English. He is the senior advisor to the mayor and the chief policy officer.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn about the policies Atlanta has and how they will continue to build in the future to be a better city for everybody.
Yeah.
Courtney English really grew up ATL. So
Definitely.
That's also going to be a really fun to explore that from him as well and how it pertains to what he's doing now.
Yeah, I also have a few questions about youth projects that I'll like answered, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, just and keep in mind that he is part of the reason for the Year of the Youth. So I'm excited to see what you guys learn from him. I'm excited to hear the conversation. But as Kirsten said, he is definitely, if Growing Up ATL were a human being, it's Courtney English. So I'm excited to have him in the studio today. All right. Well, good luck. Let us know if you need anything, but we think you got it from here.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Kayla, Ion, you ready?
Yep.
Definitely.
All right. Good luck.
Welcome to Growing Up ATL. My name is Ion.
And I'm Kayla.
Today we're here with Chief Policy Officer and Senior Advisor to Mayor Andre Dickens, Courtney English.
What's up, guys? How are you all?
Great.
Good.
How are you? Welcome.
Fantastic. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
Yes, we're glad to have you. How did growing up in Atlanta impact you and lead you to where you are today?
Atlanta is everything. Atlanta is an incredibly special place, from the cradle of the modern civil rights movement to being home to so many incredible African-American leaders, to being home to so many incredible artists, entertainers, rappers, sports figures, leaders of business, titans of industry. You name it, Atlanta is simply incredible. And being a part of that legacy, being born and raised in the city, graduate of the Atlanta Public School System, a former teacher in the Atlanta Public School System, it's certainly in my bones, so to speak. And it's just an incredible place. So much soul, so much history, so much culture. There's no place like it.
You are the Chief Policy Officer and Senior Advisor to the Mayor. That sounds like a heavy title.
Now I talk for a living.
How is that, or what do you do what does your role do in the city, and how has that impacted Atlanta?
Yeah, so my job is to lead a team of folks who work across 4 or 5 different major policy issues: affordable housing, youth development and engagement, strategic partnerships, neighborhood revitalization, and with the ultimate goal of bridging the gap, Atlanta's longstanding equity gaps, closing racial disparities, improving our most distressed neighborhoods in a way that creates a city that works for everybody, that builds a city where all folks can thrive. And so I have the pleasure of leading the efforts or the team that is responsible for building and preserving 20,000 units of affordable housing over 8 years, which is Mayor Dickens' goal. I have the pleasure of working with folks like Janine Lewis, who lead the effort to make Atlanta the best place in the country to raise a child. And so it's truly a blessing. I get to wake up every single day and give back to the city that gave so much to me, that poured into me. And so it's incredibly exciting. It's daunting. Atlanta is far from perfect. I like to talk about it it's definitely a tale of two cities, but it's a tale of both truth and hope. And we face some harsh challenges in the city. We got too many kids in poverty. We have the widest wage gap in the country, one of the lowest levels of economic mobility than any city in America. And yet we have more black businesses per capita than any other city in America. We are the 3rd highest concentration of Fortune 500 companies. We're home to the world's busiest and most efficient airport. And I say both of those things because what they tell you is, what they're indicative of is that when we face those harsh truths, if any city in America can get it right, it's the city of Atlanta, because we've done it. Doing hard things is in our DNA. And so when we talk about the issues we face, they're nothing more than another opportunity to show the world that Atlanta knows how to get it right.
Okay. Wow, that's quite a lot. Thank you so much for.
I told you I talk for a living. It's just,
Thank you so much for this program. I think me and Kayla both have had a really good time and enjoyed our experience as you're the youth ambassadors.
Yes, thank you so much.
yeah, you guys are awesome. I've enjoyed just following your journey, watching the storytelling, watch you all move around the city, and tell the story of Atlanta from your perspective. It was an idea that Janine and the mayor came up with, and I was just glad to cheerlead from the background. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I know you mentioned a lot of the teams that you lead, and I know that you deal with a lot of key issues. Would you like to share some of the key issues that you have been addressing now?
Yeah, for sure. So I talked a little bit about it earlier, but there is youth development and engagement, which is really all about making Atlanta the best place in the country to raise a child. And if you do that, right, you have to unpack several layers of policy, if you will, to make that true, right? You have to have safe communities. You have to have communities that have access to transportation options. You have to have access to communities where folks can earn jobs to pay living wages. You have to have access to communities with stable and affordable housing. And you combine all of those things, and Atlanta, again, when we do it at scale and with urgency, can be the best place in the country to raise a child. And so that's what I think about. And so what we are trying to do now is ensure that we are putting resources towards things like early childhood education. We raised $20 million for the city's first investment in early childhood education, 0 to 3 and then 4 to 6, with the idea that when you start folks off early, they're better off later on in life. We've committed $1.5 million to youth development grants, which is a program designed to create safe spaces for kids after school and out of school by empowering local community organizations, local nonprofits with the resources they need to be successful. We've launched a mentoring campaign with Big Brothers Big Sisters and have recruited over 700 mentors so that folks have somebody to talk to, somebody to look up to, and the list goes on and on. Of course, you guys are a part of our Year of the Youth effort as well. And so that's one bucket. And then there's the affordable housing bucket, right? And the mayor does have a goal of building or preserving 20,000 units of affordable housing in an 8-year period. And we're working really, 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 really hard to get there. And so we've done a whole slew of things. We've purchased a skyscraper in downtown Atlanta to convert an office building into affordable housing units. We are revitalizing neighborhoods like Bowen Homes and the Civic Center neighborhood and bringing those units back online to serve the citizens of Atlanta. So we got a whole lot of stuff going at speed. We're incredibly excited about it. And so I'm juggling a whole lot of balls, but I have a whole lot of help to help me do it.
Yeah, that is a lot. How can youth get involved, and what do you feel like is probably, I would say, your favorite policy that you guys have been able to put in place?
Ooh, favorite policy. Well, let's start with the youth piece, right? So there are a number of ways to get involved. Of course, we have wonderful youth ambassadors, and there's certainly an opportunity, right, to grow those efforts. The Mayor's Summer Youth Employment Program. We've employed right around 6,000 or more youth over the past 2 summers, paid everybody at least $15 an hour. And so there's certainly an opportunity to get involved there. If you need something to do in the summer, we have something for you to do this summer. We have internship opportunities with the City of Atlanta. City government is a wonderful place to work, to learn, and really find opportunities to give back to this city that we all call home. As it relates to the policies, I don't know that I have a favorite. There's no single policy or initiative that works in isolation. We are in the neighborhood revitalization business. And what I mean by that is we believe that the neighborhood is the key unit of change in the city. When you heal our neighborhoods, when you ensure that folks have access to food options, jobs that pay living wages, affordable and stable housing, access to high quality transportation options, kids have places to go when they're out of school or after school or over the weekend, so on and so forth, makes for what we call a healthy and whole community. And none of those things happen in isolation. They all intertwine, they all intersect at a variety of points. And so we're pulling on all of the levers of change at one time to, again, get to that whole healthy neighborhood. And so it's really a mindset shift. I can tell you that I can tell you the results that I'm proud of, right? I'm proud of the fact that we've raised $20 million for early childhood education. I'm proud of the fact that we've touched 6,000 young people through Year of the Youth. I'm proud of the fact that youth crime is down in this city significantly. I'm proud of the fact that crime is down across the board. All of those things are really a result of a series of policies that come together to make the city healthy. And so there's no one thing. It's all of them working together to build a better, stronger Atlanta.
Wow, that is a lot. Thank you so much we're proud of it as well. And we appreciate all that you've been doing to help people like us and just people in general in the city.
Absolutely. No, we got your back, man. And we mean that. This city was known as, or is still known as, the city too busy to hate. And that moniker isn't just passed down from generation to generation. Every generation has a responsibility to make it, to step up to the plate and make it mean something. And so you all are facing tough times. Y'all have lived through a pandemic, have been in school during a pandemic, which I'm sure was absolutely crazy. And we have to do everything in our power to give you all the tools to carry that moniker forward. So it's certainly our pleasure and an honor to pour back into you, because that's what was done for folks like me and the mayor.
You mentioned that you grew up in Atlanta and that you are an APS grad. How was growing up here?
It was incredible. It was incredible. My mom made sure that I participated in everything. I was doing baseball, football, karate, debate team, you name it. I was probably in it. Band, everything under the sun. I think my mom was incredibly diligent about making sure that I experienced as much of Atlanta as possible, as many different sides of Atlanta, as many different people in the city as possible, and that helped fuel who I was, or who I am today, rather. And like I said, it's an incredibly special place. Atlanta is a place where you can go to the Cascade, the Y on Campbellton Road and run into Ambassador Andrew Young swimming laps, or you can walk into Kroger on Cascade and see literally Mayor Shirley Franklin, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, Mayor Kasim Reed. You can go over to different parts of the city and you'll run into folks like Mayor Bill Campbell, folks like Herman James Russell, Herman Jerome Russell, who passed away not too long ago. But these are titans of industry who help make this city an incredibly special place. It was nothing for me to walk out of my house and see John Lewis or see C.T. Vivian or see any of the folks that we read about who were just simply incredible. Hank Aaron was always around. I mean, these folks, it was an experience where it's like these folks lived in the history books for most people. But for folks in Atlanta, we got to see, touch, feel them, hear from them very, very often. Only if we, took certain steps to reach out. And I've always experienced Atlanta in a way that if you reach out, it has a special way. The city has a special way of reaching back. And I think our goal, right, is to make it easier for that outreach to happen, to make it easier for folks who grew up in Oakland City like I did, or folks who grew up in Adamsville like the mayor did, make that walk from those neighborhoods to City Hall or into the corner offices downtown a little bit shorter and a little bit easier. And because that was done for us. There are a huge number of people whose shoulders I stand on. And I am super sensitive to that. I'm super grateful to that. And, it comes with an awesome responsibility. And so I loved it. I mean, it was just, from growing up, doing all of the stuff, the youth stuff, playing sports, to going to high school and graduating from Doug. I went to Morehouse in Atlanta. Like I said, Atlanta's in my bones. And so it was absolutely incredible. I loved it.
Now, I'm a little jealous because your generation had Freaknik.
Yeah. So that's not. So I'm a little bit younger than Freaknik. I was like the kid the kid who was trying to convince my mom to get stuck in traffic so I can ride through Freaknik. But I feel you. We could talk about it. It was incredible.
What was your favorite experience with everything you mentioned growing up in Atlanta? If you have one.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if I have a favorite,
Any
singular
memorable
favorite.
things?
Yeah, I mean it. So I mean, I definitely remember the '96 Olympics, where the world literally descended upon Atlanta, and I was in the fifth grade, I believe, fourth or fifth grade, and we were all, I just was trying to be in action. Like I was literally. So at that time, I was a youth ambassador, like you all, actually, for the Olympics, and so I had the opportunity to hang out with Ambassador Andrew Young a lot. Who was instrumental in making Atlanta an international city and bringing the Olympic Games to the city of Atlanta. So he's one of my heroes, mentors, so on and so forth. But that happened, like I said, that relationship started in the third or fourth grade as a youth ambassador. Atlanta, sent me on my first international trip to Paris, and then later on to Amsterdam. I lived in Amsterdam for a bit because of a program that Mayor Bill Campbell and his wife started to send kids overseas. I mean, I can go on and on. Everything, my entire high school experience is incredible. If you ask me, I love Morehouse to death. I went to Columbia for grad school, but all of that started with Douglas High School, Frederick Douglass High School, 225 certified, big, the bold, the black, the gold. And so, every step along the way, I've had group of people or institutions that meant so much to the city, and in a lot of ways, the entire country. Pour into me. And those are it's no one memory. It's all of it combined that is incredibly special.
Wow. You mentioned that you went to Morehouse and then to Columbia, and you could still be in New York, but what made you come back to Atlanta and decide to have a career here?
Yeah, if you can't do it here, if you can't take care of home, you're probably no earthly good to anybody.
Yes.
Right? And so you got to make sure that that the backyard is tight, that your room is tight, so to speak, that you take care of home. And Atlanta is and has always been home. I talked a little bit about my mom earlier, and she was absolutely my hero. And, I think about the world, really anything I do, through the lens of trying to make life easier for folks like her. She was a single mom. I'm a first-generation college graduate. My dad grew up in a small town a few miles outside of Atlanta, Villarica, Georgia, with an 8th grade education. And so, I want everything I do is about, again, making life easier for folks like them, making life easier for folks I taught inside of the classroom. And, I taught 6th and 7th grade social studies in the same room I took 6th and 7th grade social studies. That's a true story. It freaked my kids out when I told them that, because I knew a lot of their parents or knew all of their grandparents. We were in school together in a lot of cases. And, it's just a deep responsibility, right? And so when I talk about all of the folks that who I had access to one way or the other, I just wanted to be there for somebody else. And so that pulled me back home.
Yeah, it seems like your life has kind of come full circle from kind of being a youth ambassador to now working with us as youth ambassadors. So to anyone out there, you should definitely get into some youth programs in Atlanta. Sounds like a great opportunity. But what was it like, or what is it like to kind of have that experience of everything coming full circle and coming back around to you?
Yeah. So, I will tell you that I don't think about myself in the midst of the story, right? Like, the story is whatever you guys go off and do when you leave this particular space, when you are done with this particular program, like when you find your own path to impact, if you will, whatever that is, whether ideally in Atlanta or anywhere across the country, whether it's in business and politics and in the nonprofit sector, in entertainment, art, so on and so forth. That's the full circle moment, really, for me. It's like seeing the next generation of folks who were born and raised in this city able to step up to the plate and lead. That's the full circle moment, right? Like, I think about, all of my kids who I once taught who come back and say, hey, look, I'm, doing this, that, and the third. Like, those are the dope moments. And so I don't pause to kind of revel in the work, because there's so much work left to be done. But when you guys go off and be great, then I'll sit back and say, we did something. We were able to play if nothing but a small role in somebody's life, to help them help somebody else, then that'll be the moment. So I'm waiting on y'all, and then I'll kick back and on the porch and hopefully say, job well done.
Wow. We hope that the Year of the Youth continues, because we've definitely seen some of the benefits of it, and now we're honored to say that we've grown up knowing you. After you mentioned all the great people that are here, and so thank you for that.
Yeah, I would like to say that you're really inspirational. Your words, words have definitely helped me, and like as someone who's grown up in Atlanta, especially with some struggles, to hear your background and how you made it through and triumphed is nothing but inspirational. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. You all are really the inspiration. Know that you have a city government, folks like Janine, folks like myself, folks like the mayor who wake up every single day. It really, if we don't do anything else, we think about how to make your lives a little bit easier. And we believe in you. You all are the city, are the fabric of the city. And I mean, it's cliche to say you're the future. So I'll just say that future is now. Right? Like, so, whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, dream big, and folks like me will always have your back. The city will always have your back, because we believe in you and we love you. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And if you don't mind, we would like to get to know a little bit more about you. So what is your favorite song by an Atlanta artist?
Favorites? Oh man, I don't know if I can say any of those. Nah.
Or do you have a favorite Atlanta artist?
No, my favorite rapper is T.I.
Okay,
easy. That's not.
He's a favorite.
Don't say no, but yeah, I mean, I love all things. Like I'm Atlanta through and through. I mean, my favorite rapper is T.I. I probably should say, I don't know, something like What You Know About That. It's my favorite song, like as just a PC version. Probably Bankhead is my favorite song by T.I. though. If you listen to Bankhead, I was listening to it this morning, so it's on a mixtape. But y'all should hear. I'm from the A, man. I can't help it. I'm from the West Side, and I went to Doug. So
yeah, being
Bankhead
from
probably.
here, do you have a favorite place to eat or any recommendations?
My favorite place is the American Deli inside of the West End Mall. Actually. Like, true story. Like, I mean, people ask me that. Like, that's my favorite wing spot. All American delis are not created equal, and the best one is inside of the West End Mall, in my humble opinion. So.
And lastly, where is your favorite place here? Either to hang out, relax, just favorite place
in general.
Ooh, Morehouse. Yeah, for sure. Like, just walking around the campus, it's where I go to ground myself and remember, like, just literally being in that space. Morehouse is Morehouse Spelman, the entire AUC, Clark Atlanta, Morris Brown, and ITC are all incredible institutions with so much rich history. But so just walking through the yard, walking through Morehouse and Spelman specifically, are just always really spiritual experiences for me. And so if I got a lot of stuff on my mind, I'm probably just walking around the yard. So.
Yeah, I love some wings. So just to go back for a second, what's your wing order?
Oh man, I do half and half hot, half lemon pepper.
Okay, same. Yeah. All right, I respect it.
My guy.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate having you, and you were very inspirational. I learned a lot. Ion?
Yeah, I did too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
We hope to have you back.
Love to. Thank you. Keep pushing.
Thank you.
Wow, what an interview.
Definitely. I feel like I learned a lot.
You guys got into some things that we didn't even anticipate.
And you were right. He is definitely a true native.
Yeah, his message, especially considering his background, really shows that anything is possible, especially in Atlanta as a Black man, for me.
I loved the feedback and the awareness that as he was speaking about growing up and meeting Ambassador Andrew Young, who was also a former mayor of Atlanta, and all of the people. It really warmed my heart when you guys made that connection about him being the leader that you all are growing up with. So I don't know. I think that was really touching for me, and that was a great interview.
Yeah. Also, just to see how much is being done. Obviously, this ambassador program is directly correlated to the work that Courtney, Ms. Janine, and the mayor have been doing, but how much more policies are being covered on a day-to-day. So, just important work for us as Atlanta natives, as citizens of Atlanta, to see the full reach of, what our potential is.
Yeah, and he covers it all. So it was really inspirational just to hear everything he had to say.
You guys did a great job.
Thank
Great
you.
job,
Thank
guys.
you.
Great job. All right. This is a great day growing up ATL.
Yep,
Yep.
Y'all are on fire. See you soon. You ready for the next?
definitely.
All right. Have a good one.
This has been another episode of Growing Up ATL, a podcast created by your mayor's ATL Year of the Youth ambassadors. Visit us at atlyearoftheyouth.com or follow us on Instagram at ATL Year of the Youth for more information.